Hello and welcome to the first podcast of Columbus Local. I am Len D'Amico, and as a small part of the Columbus, Ohio local music community, I have had the great fortune to support, perform, and meet some fabulous musicians and bands over the years. And this podcast is intended to provide discussion with some of our great musicians within the community. It will provide some introduction, hopefully some insight and some adventure backstories and opportunity to get to know some of these great people. And this first podcast is no exception to wonderful talent, personality, and charismatic presence. Larz Raymond. Larz, thank you for joining today.
My pleasure, Len. Thanks a lot. It's always great to see you, bud.
That's awesome, man. And, so for those that may not know, Larz is currently drummer for a band in Columbus, based in Columbus, named Toast. And he's also a longtime member of Third Degree Sideburn, which is a fabulous rockabilly band. I just saw you guys last weekend at Park Street Tavern and just blown away. I mean, the place was hopping and the patrons there were very appreciative of the musicianship and just how tight you guys are. It's just a fun show. Thanks,
Len. It was always fun seeing you there, and the after party, of course, is always fun. I was in a band called Shampipple when that opened. I haven't played Park Street for a long time, and I started the first band that played there. I was in the very first band. It's called Shampipple. And also, we were the first band to play there at New Year's. And we played for a while, and then it's just been forever since I've been down there. But it was nice playing downtown again. It was really great, a lot of fun.
That's one of my favorite venues. It's small by comparison to some of the other places I've seen you perform with that band and others. But it's got a great vibe, very, very welcoming.
It's skinny, but it's long.
That's for sure, man. So how long have you been with Third Degree Sideburn?
I think 13 years.
Yeah.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, and that just what a treat it is to see that you guys rocking and getting some gigs out there again after kind of a little bit of a hiatus with busyness of the members.
Well, yeah, we're all in other bands and everyone's so busy. We used to play a lot more, but everyone, Tony's in the British Invasion and got the McCartney project going, so he got really busy. And I was like, we all need to do other stuff. So we're all busy with our other bands, but I think it's, it's more appreciative that we don't play as much so that when we get together, it's a treat, because we just have this chemistry that we don't rehearse.
Well, that's you. Oh, that's you guys though, man. You guys are all pros and just that DNA, connection you guys all have. It's a treat to see you guys perform.
And I think awesome. That's what makes a band, is the band thing, is the DNA. Either you guys get it or you don't. Eventually, if you don't, it's not going to work out. So.
Yeah, and it's magic when it happens. So I'm sure you're fortunate because you can feel it when it happens. And
right.
That's really cool. And so with Toast has some really, really awesome players as well, and a different genre of
totally,
music,
yeah.
Right?
I don't want to be in two bands that are alike. What's the point?
That's a good point. Absolutely. But so Toast is more so. Third Degree Sideburn is obviously rockabilly and a little bit of rock, intermixed. Sometimes on the fly requests from the folks that are in there, but it's definitely high energy. I would say Toast is high energy in a different way, like almost spiritual.
Well, yeah, Toast plays songs that but they're deeper cuts, and we do like our Pink Floyd. But, like older Stones and stuff that but now granted, there's going to be a few songs that aren't deep cuts that we like. But basically they're really deep cuts. Like we just took on, we actually rehearsed last night and we learned a couple songs, but we tackled Born to Run, we like to tackle hard songs, like The Song Remains the Same, Pigs, 3 different ones, sometimes 2 of the Allman Brothers, Whipping Post, I mean, I know these songs, but they are, They're a little bit more difficult, you know, to get. But the nice thing is with Toast, I don't sing, but the other three guys have all great harmonies together, and you know, so you get that, and you can tackle a lot. Scott really sounded great on the Born to Run last night too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I can't imagine, because, you know, Toast is, 2 guitars, bass, right? And drums. And, to be able to pull off some of the, you know, musical aspects of something like Born to Run, that's a complicated, you know, arrangement,
Sure.
right? But you guys are just so good, and you're able to, you know, blend and make those instruments sound, you know, how they need to be to pull off something like that. But
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, the musicianship there is really killer, for sure. So Larz, you know, that's today, but you know, what is your earliest memory of music experience?
My earliest memory of music is kind of funny. Like the first thing I can remember is hearing footsteps, and I could just hear the rhythms, like, you know, or different cadences, or high heels, or feet on, you know, concrete or whatever. It was like, that's my earliest memories.
So that resonated as music to you,
right?
Or a rhythm, right?
Right. I don't know. I've always known music. I don't know. It consumes my life, basically. And I think I had a Bugs Bunny set when I was, you know, 5 or 6 that my cousin came over and broke all the heads on. We're still not on talking terms, but it's okay.
Bugs Bunny kit? It was a kit?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Bugs Bunny. Wabbit season.
White.
Wow. Wow. So, do you know remember how old you were when that was the case?
Like, I don't know.
Just
5 or 6 or somewhere along there.
So then did you, get interested in percussion immediately?
I was always beating on stuff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're a born drummer, born percussionist.
I don't think I found the drums. The drums definitely found me.
Wow. That's cool. So when did you get your first kit?
Well, I asked for it for about 2 years before I actually got it. I think I was already taking lessons. I think in the 5th grade you could start taking lessons. So I want to say it was the summer after 6th grade at Cummings Music Store. I grew up in Lancaster, and believe it or not, at that point there was still a downtown. And there was Kaufman's Music Store and Cummings, and they were literally walking distance right across from each other. Now, go to now, and you're lucky to find an independent music store. You know what I'm saying? There's, you know, you got, you know, the big
Sam Ash and Guitar Center.
Right. And it was, I just remember just always like going there and looking at this like little gold sparkle Dixie kit.
Oh,
$350, no name brand. I didn't care. And so that ended up, they had like a couple, like it had it was like 4-piece, which I still play today. A 4-piece, unless I'm playing with third degree, which is a 3-piece. I don't like a lot of stuff. But it was gold sparkle, and it had the arm on the bass drum, old school, like the Beatles and all the stuff, back the Gene Group of Buddy Rich, you know, the guys like that. And I think it had a couple of cheap pasty cymbals, just one on the like a ride cymbal and a hi-hat. But I wish I still had that kit.
That's amazing.
But it was great, you know. And then I played in like that store also had a summer jazz band for youth, and I played in that. I think I want to say I was between 6th and 7th grade when I started playing in my first jazz band.
Oh wow, yeah, wow! How big of an outfit was that?
I don't know, not huge.
Couple guys.
It was I don't know, 8 to 10 people maybe.
Yeah, but you were loving it then.
Sure, it was like hard to believe you were playing we didn't play like Coltrane or anything like that, you know. Like, you know, and the same with jazz band, like junior high and stuff. The charts were more, you know, like Proud Mary, or it was called jazz band, but it wasn't hardcore jazz at that point. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it would have been hard to, you know, be trying to play Tony Williams licks, you know, stuff like that. Art Blakey when you're in 7th grade or whatever.
Holy cow.
You know.
Wow. So you know, because like the first time I saw you play was with Third Degree Sideburn.
Okay.
And I think it was at Indie Oak. And I was just shocked at the the percussion coming out of the sound of the band. And again, it's a 3-piece, but you guys are just so dynamic. And I believe you were playing your big, how big was that kick drum?
That kick drum I got on eBay. It's a 28 by 10 marching drum.
Yeah.
And it just looked like it would be perfect.
And it is.
So
you still have that.
I do.
Kick,
I
right?
stripped it, put a new black glass glitter covering on it, but I kept the little things on the hoops, the little inlays, so it still has some originality. Put legs on it, cymbal arm on it, new drum heads on it, and
so you had this big giant band kick drum, right? I remember this thing, and I remember a snare and a hi-hat and a frickin' hubcap to a car. And that was your rig, right? That was what you were performing.
There were times when I haven't, used any tom.
Do you still have that hubcap?
I've got 2 of them. They're from a 47 Chrysler my dad gave me, and I drilled holes in them. Just had the great idea to use them.
I just nobody. I've never seen anybody do anything like that, man. Like, are there other players that play hubcaps for cymbals? Or is it just like the vibe of Third Degree Sideburn? The rockabilly.
It just gave me a little room to, be a little bit more experimental without being avant-garde, obviously. But it just seemed kind of like I wanted a different kit for that band.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, and it really was. It impressed me. It was just just the sound of that kit. I'll just never forget it, man. That was the first time I had met you. It was a memorable time because it was a fun gig. I'll just never forget it.
Sure.
But do you consider yourself a kind of a gear guy, or do you have?
I'm not the guy that's going to tell you what kind of bearing edges the drums have. It's
I got
and
you.
most of my stuff is vintage gear. I like with Third Degree that particular drum is a 1967 Ludwig marching bass drum, and I use a Yamaha snare that one of my students actually bought for me.
Really?
It's an Akira Jimbo model. Japanese drummer that's a great drummer. And I just use 2 cymbals with that, as well. And cymbals, I use different stuff. I just have, and then with Toast, I've got a 1970s Gretsch Green Sparkle kit that I use, which is actual 4-piece, which is the largest kit I play. And then with that band, right now, I'm using all Pacey 2002 series cymbals. But I've got, I'm not I don't need it's just whatever.
Yeah.
That sounds good,
I'm with you.
And that for whatever reason, I've just gotten good deals on vintage gear that I liked. And that just happens to be, what I'm playing with those 2 bands now, other than the snare drum.
Oh, that's wild. So, again, prior to current day, anything you want to share in regard to, some of your favorite early bands, some of your early projects?
That I was in?
Yes.
I wasn't prepared for this question. That's a lot of stuff. The first time I got paid to play, I was 14 years old. That was when I became a professional. I played with 2 adults. I was in 9th grade. Tom Crumley was the piano player. He was a teacher at Lancaster High School, but he also played undercover in a gay club up here piano.
That's cool.
Yeah. And wait till you hear the singer was a contemporary gospel singer. And it was me. It was the 3 of us, right? And we went to another high school. And really the big thing for me was, other than getting paid and playing with them, it was a strange but cool experience. I just wanted to see the other girls from the other high school for some reason.
It's always the girls, man.
It is, man.
That's interesting. And then, hey, Gabe's here, so we might want to be careful with.
Now my wife is so cool.
She's awesome.
She's the best thing ever.
Oh, she's awesome.
But real quick, and then so after that, when I was 15, I started getting paid to play pool parties. There was a place in Lancaster called Miller Pool in Miller Park, which I also played baseball there, but that's a swimming pool. And on the weekends, they would hire bands to play pool parties. And I I've been trying to think of the name of that band, and that's sad, but I've been in a lot of bands, and my mind's a little hazy these days. I was up late practicing with toast, so thank you for the coffee.
It's all cool.
Yeah, so we would play there too. So and just kind of like basement parties and stuff like that, and just kind of went on from there. And just took off.
Yeah, so you got pulled in to music, and you're a percussionist, and you're driven, and you have this innate ability, and it's, in my mind, it's legendary. Like, where did it take you, Larz? Like, how far out of Columbus have your skills as a drummer taken you?
Well, let's see. 6 months after I was married, I went to Anchorage, Alaska.
Really?
As soon as I got, yeah.
Did she go with you?
She came out midway through. So I was playing with DS Fusion. They're back together as an original band called Fusion now. It was a totally different lineup then. Ken was still in the band, who's the original member. And I remember we were playing in Marion. They like, can we see you in the dressing room, right? And I'm like, oh, am I getting fired? What did I do? And they go, listen, we know you just got married, so we thought we'd approach you first. But, we've got this gig in Anchorage, Alaska for 6 weeks, 5 nights a week. And it was a place called Chilkoot Charlie's. It's Rachel Ray's been on her. It's huge. Ozzy's played there, a bunch of major acts. It's the biggest. It's like 7 bars in the place. It's enormous, right? So they're like, no, you want to go? And obviously my wife is so cool. So yeah, that was the first. I went there, but before that, I moved to Hollywood when I was 20. I'd already been playing. Like I played the Outros like 5 nights in a row once before there were pre-sale tickets.
Oh man, we could do a whole
I used to shave in the bathroom with a rusty razor blade. I basically lived there at one point.
Wow.
But yeah, so, and then, after I kicked around a while and did a little touring and stuff, and it just kind of fizzled out, I knew I needed to go to music school. And I'd had a partial scholarship to High University or Capital, but they were just, I didn't want to study anything else besides music. So Musicians Institute in Hollywood was just all music. It was open 24 hours a day. You could sign up for a room at night. And I lived right behind Mann's Chinese Theater, and I could walk down. I didn't have a car, but it was different musical classes every day. So you had private instructors, you had big band, you had Latin, you had sight reading, you had rock, you had all that stuff. So, and then
what an amazing opportunity. Wow. And how long did you, how long were you at that school?
That school at the time, now it offers 4 year. It offered 1 year. I went to the summer school before that because I wasn't sure. Like I was, I don't want to come off wrong, but I was first chair snare drummer, and I was kind of a local guy that was,
yeah, but you
did pretty
knew,
well. But I didn't know what I was going to be in for. Going to Hollywood with all these people from different countries. So if you went to the summer school, you didn't have to send an audition tape in. So I went to the summer school. Turns out, honestly, since I'd been playing so long and had all schooling, it was really pretty easy. But it was fun. I laid by the pool during the day, and then I went to school in the evenings. This school's in the evenings, so.
That's pretty cool.
Go where it's cold or go to Hollywood and hang out, it was kind of easy. Wow. It was an easy, and it was affordable back then too. That's the thing. So, and then, it was easy to get into the full year after that.
Wow. So you got through that, and you knew, and how did you hang with the world population kind of coming into that?
It was great. I've always been very open-minded, progressive minded, and, guys from France, Italy, England, all over. I think in my summer session class, I want to say there was maybe 20 people in there, and 13 were from different countries.
Oh, wow.
So it was amazing.
What a great group. What a great group.
Now, I went out there I moved out there alone. I didn't know anybody. I was the first one to drag all my friends that rode the coattails out there, but I love you people. No, but I was like, it was, I was just 20 years old, just left everybody. Didn't know anyone, and just went out there by myself with a suitcase and a few items, clock radio, some clothes.
So all those worldly possessions, and then you're armed with this fabulous musical educational experience.
The teachers were just phenomenal. I mean, like my rock teacher was Joe Porcaro.
Oh wow!
Jeff Porcaro was one of my favorite drummers. He's rest in peace, but all that great Steely Dan, Boss Gags, Toto. He's a drummer for Toto, right? It's great shuffles.
Absolutely.
His dad, Joe Porcaro, and he talked like this, and we call him the Godfather.
I know a couple guys like that. So after school there, what did you do?
Well, I already started playing while I was still in school, actually. The Troubadour was my first gig there.
Oh.
So do you want to hear the funny story?
I do. I think we want to hear it, man. It's okay.
So we had a management company out of Inglewood, Dr. Andre Masson.
Wow.
And it was literally, we went to his office. It's just like the comedy. He's got one phone. Capitol Records, $150,000? Nope. Hangs the phone down. Got a phone in the other hand. RCA, $300,000? Nope, not enough money. Call me back. Then he gets a brown bag out.
What?
He's got a brown bag with like a short dog, some liquor in there. Like full on gangster Inglewood, right? It's all black, So
what's the setting? Company. What's the setting for that? Like his office?
His office, and he had an assistant, and he gets out the brown bag. You guys gonna be stars. You guys gonna be big. So like, we don't know. We're kids, at that point. We're like, wow, man, he's becoming the book as the Troubadour. On top of that, he gets us 2 limos. First gig in Hollywood at the Troubadour with 2 limos. Now, the funny part.
And you're 21 or 22.
No, I just turned 21, not long before, because I was still 20.
Okay.
I couldn't buy beer when I got out there. Like you could here, but California was 21. They used to have to ask the neighbors, could you go get me a couple of beers? Yeah, so we did. So it's hilarious. It's almost Spinal Tappies, right? And then so we have 2 limos, and I've got to give my buddy Biggs a shout out. He was like, all right, he wasn't in the band. The funny thing was Sade was in town, okay? And they were huge Sade fans of management. Sade's in town, Andre says. He goes, so you can have the limos there, but we need the limos before you're done because we're taking the Sade concert.
No way.
Yeah. So my buddy Biggs has to drive our guitar player's Aaron's Volvo down. We have 2 limos for 4 people, which is ridiculous. So he had to, I got to give him credit. He drove the Volvo to the Troop, so we'd have a ride home.
Nice.
Spinal Tap is that,
and,
right?
and Sade was able to get transportation.
I mean, it was, we knew our limits at that point.
Oh my gosh. So you played the Troubadour, your first gig out there, right?
Yeah,
that's a big deal, man. That's huge.
That band was actually called Jackal, not spelled like the Jackal, and sounded nothing like the Jackal with the chainsaws or whatever,
Yeah.
Later on, I played there in a band called Blackjack, and we actually had a residency for a month of Sundays there, which was really cool.
Wow. That is very cool. So you played the Troubadour, and then you, what were the next steps there?
It's rough.
Okay. I mean, I can appreciate that. Like everybody in their butt. What year are we talking here? Like 80s?
85.
So that's like Sunset Strip.
Oh, it was
city, like just at its like.
Oh yeah.
Peaking in its popularity.
Like Izzy Stradlin lived below me in my apartment.
Oh wow.
Guns N' Roses.
Wow.
Yeah, the guys used to come over there. And I mean, there's so many stories I could tell about the years I lived out there. It's ridiculous.
Well, hit us with one more if you don't mind.
I don't know. Should I hit you with one more?
Just one more.
Or should I save it for another episode?
Well,
okay.
Let's do one more, and then definitely you're welcome back, man.
Okay, so Joe Porcaro, the Godfather, right? He's my rock teacher. So we used to hang out the Rainbow a lot. These are some stories we'll get in next time about all the people I've gotten to hang out the Rainbow with. So I go to the Rainbow. We used to go on Wednesday and Saturday.
That place is epic.
Oh, yeah. So we go to the Bow, and I meet some girl there, and the last thing I know, we're leaving in a convertible, right? I wake up the next morning. It's the day of my final exams. I don't know where I am. I'm in some new house outside of Hollywood on a hill. Dudley Moore Arthur. You know when he slides down the hill? That was me. Like, I get up, and the girl that I'm with, she is sick, hungover. She doesn't have any money and no gas. I don't know where I'm at. I don't have much money either.
Was it?
I have.
Was it in a dwelling? Or were you like?
No, it was a house. It was a big house. Yeah, she was living with her father.
Gotcha.
Okay. So she's absolutely no help whatsoever. So there's a bus stop like close by. She gives me some change, right? I literally slide down the hill like Dudley. And I get to a bus stop. Literally, it's like tumbleweeds blowing. Like, there's hardly any houses in this development. This is one of the few. There's some Mexican ladies on there going to work, and that's it. So I've got enough money to get to LA, and then I don't have any money to get back to Hollywood to go to my finals. I get off the bus. I never had to panhandle before. It was a little business district. I just looked at the first guy that looked nice, and I said, look, I hate to do this, but I have got to get back to Hollywood. I have no money. I have final exams today. Could you please help me? Guy was cool. Gave me money. Made the bus. Got back to Hollywood.
That's awesome.
Sprinted back to my apartment, my little studio apartment. Grabbed my stuff. Went back to MI. And Joe Picaro, that was my first final exam. I literally get there, the person in front of me is leaving. Like, I haven't showered, or I have on what I had the night before, whatever. I go in there, and I get there just in the nick of time, right? Literally get there right when it's my turn. I go in, and Joe's the guy was the coolest dude ever. I swear it. I love that guy. And I go in there, and Asa got 100, and I just went home and just passed out. That's literally a true story. My roommates were just like, dude.
Ace's his final exams, and the rest is his. So you, how many years were you out in LA with the music scene out there?
About 3.5.
Oh, that's longevity, though, man. Really. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
and then
it was tough. There's no money out there. I mean, if you read Slash or Duff's book, there's a picture of all the bands that are playing the Troubadour that month. It's mind blowing how many bands played there during a month. Like, we're on, Jackal was on. I can't remember Duff or Slash's, but because Duff landed on Orchid Street, which is where I lived. And as Duff said, it was nothing but drug dealers, prostitutes, and a lot of music,
right?
And a lot of musicians lived there. Went to MI because it was close to MI and it was affordable.
Lots of collaboration too. Obviously, that's a big blending pot of influence and jamming and learning and trying to find that DNA connection, right?
Sure.
And then, of course, the national level is where you were kind of flirting, it seems.
Well, you have to have, the thing is, you got to be in the right band. It's just not easy, Yeah,
and it's even tougher today,
Right. And this was luckily before the pay to play. I was out there right before they started implementing that. We didn't have to sell any tickets.
Oh, that's good.
Like that. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So right on the cusp of all that. That's a fortunate time in your life.
It is.
Yeah. So what brought you back then to Columbus? Did you come directly back to Columbus?
I had a band already. Yes, and I had a booking agent back here. And the truth is, we were just exhausted. There's no money to be, out there really, you're not making any money. And so, I'm working at Warehouse Entertainment for a while, which is like Tower Records. And then I had a job delivering for VHS, duplicating service. And at this point, part of the problem was, and I loved all my friends, but I was the Mother Teresa of Hollywood. At this point, I had 6 people living in one bedroom. Everyone needed a place to stay, and I let them. Can you imagine that? You can only go on with that for so long. It's like too many people. And,
I can imagine. Yeah.
It just,
after a while, you just needed,
it was a burnout.
It was a natural progression for you to kind of peel out of that lifestyle, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But, just great time, great stories, great recording out there, had some fun gigs. It was a blast. It really was. It was
Absolutely.
and people are like, aren't you sad you didn't make it? And I'm just like, I never think of life that way. Of course not. But people don't understand it though. A lot of people that aren't in the music business, they don't understand. They think, oh, it's sad. It's not sad. I've been making music, a living at music for 30 years. I mean,
yeah, you're blessed. You're blessed to have all that and all those experiences,
right.
And, you're able to, we're drinking a little whiskey here. And
I thought that was coffee. The other glass. Is that what's in there?
That's what's in there. It's the little, what is that? Rabbit hole whiskey.
You've taken me down the rabbit hole, Len.
Well,
we're going to have to save some
we'll
stories.
Save some stories. It sounds like there's a lot of stories from California, perhaps, that we could delve into. But coming back to Columbus, so you're obviously, highly respected musician and here in Columbus. And with that, are you involved in anything else
Well, my main bread and butter is I'm a private instructor. I teach at Music Royale. I've taught at a lot of places. Most of them have folded, unfortunately, and I teach at home as well. But my main gig is at Music Royale now. I've been a private instructor for 30 years, and it's great working with kids. But I have adult students as well. And
that's awesome.
That's that just happened accidentally. My friend Shannon Albus was like, choral music used to be an institution, and so that was the first place I taught. And it was when I came back. I was like, dude, we need a teacher. Why don't you teach? I was just like, oh, okay. So, and my first student was Brett Wade. Brett was in 5th grade, I believe. And Brett studied with me till he was a sophomore to high state. So I feel like it was probably a good move.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But obviously it took some, you had to work it out and stuff
yeah, for sure.
But, having been in band and studied and stuff, I had lots of books and experience to work from. So nonetheless, that was a learning experience. I'm still learning, at this point.
That's really refreshing to hear somebody like yourself to say that you're still learning. I mean, that's,
what the beauty is, a lot of people my age, they don't listen. They haven't listened to any new music forever. There's always great music, and my students have turned me on to some stuff that I wouldn't know about. And so I'm very open-minded, and I love a lot of types of music. So, they teach me as well. I mean, I learn from them just as much,
So, how do you listen to music? Is it CDs? Is it streaming? Is it
it's everything.
Albums?
I still got a CD. Yes, I have vinyl. I still prefer I have a 6 CD changer, and I'm always in a hurry, so I don't have time to queue up my Spotify or whatever it is. I'm not going to lie. But at home, I do stream a lot as well as listen to vinyl because I'm an avid reader. And so, I don't watch TV during the day. I read books. And so while I'm reading, I listen to music. And I can't have music with words while I'm reading. So I love jazz. So most of my days are spent reading and listening to jazz.
Wow. Yeah, that's almost like a opera, So first of all, what are the 6 CDs in your changer?
They change all the time. Let's see. We had Mastodon, who's not jazz, on the way over here. I've got Down in there. What did I just change? So I had Jane's Addiction in there. I think I may have a Coltrane in there. I got a Tom Waits in there. And something else.
That's an eclectic collection, at any
I
given
love
time.
That's it.
Yeah. Diversity.
We went today. We went to Pine Quarry and did a little hike, and I had the classical station on. Classical, that opera on. So it just
so all kinds. Yeah. You're influenced by everything.
What I'm doing, what mood I'm in. It's the beauty of music. There's so much out there.
Yeah.
Whatever mood you're in, there's just a vast quantity to choose from.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, to the literary side, then. So, what are you reading right now? It sounds like you're a reader.
Let's see. Right now, I'm reading Charles Bukowski Hollywood and Joe Walsh's biography. I'm flipping back and forth. So, I love the beat writers, Kerouac and like Henry Miller, Bukowski, but I also like really dark stuff, like murder mystery stuff. I love Dean Koontz, Anne Rice, some of the horror stuff. Really a biography junkie on musicians and stuff. And like my music, it's, it's not just one thing. It's different stuff. But music's definitely a big one. I love to read about people's lives and like I said, I don't watch much TV, but I do watch in the evenings, after my daughter goes to bed and I come home from teaching. I usually don't get home till like 8:39. So Gabe and I love to watch documentaries. That's my main go-to is documentaries. Now, I love movies, but I don't really have time. Sometimes I want to spend the whole night on a 2-hour movie or whatever. So documentaries are my big thing. I like learning about people's lives.
So out of those documentaries that you've seen, sounds like over the years, right? Do any like resonate with you as one that you can't get out of your head?
Not really. I don't think so. I can't think of one at the top of my head. I've seen just so many. I just love them all, or about bookstores. I mean, it's just, artists. I like art, and stuff too as well. So, I don't think I do have one right off the top of my head. It's like when people ask me, who's your favorite drummer? I'm just like, it depends what day it is. What kind of music, there's different stuff, for what I'm in the mood for.
Right on. Did you watch TV?
Yeah. See, so what we've always done is with the girls is, since I work evenings, we all watch a show together. Now my 19-year-old doesn't come out of the room anymore, so that's out. But my 15-year-old's still cool to come hang for a little bit, So we've always watched, that's our nighttime family thing together.
That's cool. That's very good.
And we've done that forever. Right now,
you go beyond the documentaries that you...
Well, with the kids, we don't.
Yeah.
Futurama, Bob's Burgers, Malcolm Middle. I mean, I could go on and on. Obviously, for 15 years, 19 years. Right now, I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is hilarious.
I'll have to check that out.
Adam Sandberg's in that one. And Terry Crews, the big dude that was in Fridays, is on there. It's kind of like The Office, but set in a police, department, and it's hilarious.
I'll have to check that out, definitely. So, Larz, you're a Columbus, Ohio resident. You're a family man. You're a highly regarded musician in town. Sounds like you're influenced by a lot of different diverse topics and influences. There's a lot of budding musicians out there, and you're a teacher to some of these folks that desire to be, the next percussionist, for themselves. And as and as I know too, like, your local music journey is very personal. It's a very personal journey, but,
right.
And you've been very fortunate to have the experiences that you've had, but at the same time, do you have any advice for some of these? Do you advise your students on, what to do next in regard to, getting to have maybe some of the opportunities that you've had in your life?
Well, I don't know that all of them are, I think for the vast majority of them, they just like to play the drums. I have had students that went to Germany and played and won like whatever the rock band, United States Rock Wars was, they've won that and stuff. And had students go to Berkeley, students go to Nashville, one of my students, Matt Chalk, he's a former student. He's been a snare drummer for Ohio State for the last 4 years. And, but I just want them to have fun. If they come to me with the advice, they want to beat on things and have a good time. My lessons are all about fun. Now, we're going to learn, but we're going to have fun. There's a lot of comedy in there. If you've never seen the movie Whiplash, I'm not that guy. If you haven't seen Whiplash, you need to. The drum instructor is just a prick. It's brutal. It's brutal. And actually, my drum instructor, the guy that in high school that was the percussion guy was brutal. Made kids cry on a daily basis. I'm not going to say
you're not that guy.
No, I'm the exact opposite. It's just let's have some fun.
Let's have fun. That's a good thing. That's awesome, man. That's really awesome.
I mean, I tell them, like, look, this isn't for the meek. This is for the weak-hearted. You know, it's tough. If it's just tough. Like I'm looking at your place, overlooking the 13th floor of a high-rise apartment.
Yeah, Beth and I had different tracks.
Yeah, and I think maybe I should have just done this for a hobby and got a real job. But I can't do anything else, so I'm stuck.
Oh man, no, you're good. And so to see Larz, to spend time with Larz, he's an instructor at Music Royale, and that's located in Powell, Ohio.
It is. My good buddy Jesse McNamara owns that. Jesse and I have toured together, put out CDs together. Him and I could, alone tell, oh my gosh, stories for days.
And if someone wants to, hire you as an instructor, how would that? Just call
Music Royale and ask for me. Yeah.
Ask for Larz Raymond. Yeah. Okay, awesome.
It's easy.
Yep. And then also, around the Central Ohio area, look for Toast, which is a great rock cover band. We heard a little bit about that, and their repertoire of great cover music, as well as rearing its head again is Third Degree Sideburn, which is just a fun time. And I think that we're going to reserve some time here for maybe a couple of additional episodes in the future with Larz Raymond.
Sounds great.
It sounds like California has
fun, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anytime I can visit the rich and famous, it's just a luxury.
No, we're not rich and we're not famous, man. No way. No, but we'll hang. Hopefully we'll go see some local music tonight. Beth should be back soon.
Okay.
But I really appreciate the time we had, Larz. This is great.
Oh, it's always great hanging out with you, Len. I appreciate you having me as your first guest. I really do. I'm honored. Thank you so much.
Oh, it's awesome. Thank you. All right. That'll give us a wrap here. This is the first episode of Columbus Local. Thanks for listening, and we'll be sure to continue our journey in the area of Columbus, Ohio local music. Thank you. Have a great night.